What's good? I'm Jay Snow, and you're watching Sheen Magazine on YouTube. Make sure you tune in. I got my start consulting for WildnOut because I was gonna be a cast member actually in 2016. I think it was like season 18 or something like that. I had auditioned. This was when I was doing YouTube pretty heavy. But 2 weeks before the workshop, I ended up having vocal paralysis. I literally lost my voice. And I still showed up to the workshop sounding like Mickey Mouse a little bit. I couldn't really speak much, right? And so, you know, I'm in there with DC, Carlos, Chico, and like, they beasts. But I still showed up to the workshop to try to tell jokes. And it went well. Like, they thought I was funny. But because of a medical issue, MTV, they didn't really want to let me on the show at the time. So the EP, Nile, you know, he was a fan of my writing. And he was like, yo, if you want, you can, you know, still work on the show, but just, you know, consult. And that was the first year I was a consultant on the show when I originally was supposed to be on the cast. And from there, it kind of just became this thing where whenever I was available, whenever the show was going on, they would hit me up, ask if I was interested, and yeah, I came back. I just love creating. I try to think at least a couple steps further than the first thought that comes up, you know? What's some left field stuff that I don't think anybody would think of or say? And it's usually that thing that I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't say that out loud. You know, I'll try to say that or go with that. But when I pitch jokes, you know, people don't really get it sometimes. And they're I don't know, it's like sometimes people get intimidated by it. And I'm like, well, you should try it. And they're like, no. And then they go out there and they try something else. And I'm like, see, nigga, see? My most memorable moment was the time I actually was on the show, which was season 19. You know, things come back around full circle. I ended up getting on an episode, and this episode was with DJ Quick, of all people. I'm from Compton. So the episode that I was on was as Compton as it could be. And it was fun. You know, did songs, jokes, all of that. And that was probably my most memorable moment. As far as like for other people, I don't know, like I've written so many jokes for the show and pitched so many to so many other people, like I haven't really kept track of which ones, you know? It's kind of hard at this point. The timeline, really, you don't have a lot of time to overthink things. You kind of just have to decide, pull the trigger. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but commit. I would say that's the biggest challenge, is like people fail to commit to whatever it is that they're doing. I listen to a lot of music. I scroll down the timelines like everybody else in the world these days, seeing what's on social media. And I talk to people. I talk to a lot of different people from different cultures and backgrounds. I got cousins and nieces and nephews that listen to stuff I would never listen to, and so they kind of put me on. That's kind of how I stay in touch with what's going on in the world. It's just talking to a lot of different people who enjoy a lot of different things that I probably never would. Writing techniques, really just, I don't know, I think it's about consistency, you know, just like carving out time to think and get into that train of thought of current jokes or jokes about current events and, you know, what's going on in the times right now. Like, you just got to set aside time to see what comes up. You know, that's kind of the strategy I go with. It's necessary. You got so many different people on the cast. You need different voices sort of helping them perfect whatever joke it is that they're working on. You need different perspectives. Like, I'll definitely think of something different than what Tyler or Sydney may think of. Like, they've had different starting points, different lives, different journeys. And then Athena, she's a woman. She has very different perspectives on things, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like all of that together makes for a very diverse but also impactful team. Right. I get this question a lot, like, how could I work on a show, or how could I do this or do that? Right. Nobody knows what you can do until you do it. And nobody can know what you're thinking about doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, create stuff, create sketches, create videos, create whatever. Like, a lot of the people who are working on this show are here because they've created things, not because they've thought about it. I would definitely enjoy the opportunity to do more episodes. I think for me, the big accomplishment here for me was finally being able to tell my cousins, watch this episode. Because they all asked me, they're like, when am I gonna see you on WildnOut? When am I gonna see you on blah, blah? Now, you can see this episode at this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a great accomplishment for me. But I would love to do it again. Is there more that I wanna do? There's more that I wanna do in writing and television. And I want to see WildnOut become as big as it can possibly become, you know? Who knows what the next level is for WildnOut? As a man helping female or women comedians, I don't know. I know that there's a lot that I don't know about what it's like to be them. So I don't try to intrude on that. I just try to be goofy in a way that anybody who's human could understand. Like, that's kind of my approach. Like, because everybody knows what it's like to be fucking human. I don't know what it's like to be a woman, but I know what it's like to deal with people who have bad breath or who, you know, dress terribly or who drive bad. You know, like, there's other ways to, like, find the middle ground. No. I mean, there's definitely lines that can get you fired or arrested or, like, hit. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't cross those lines, but, like, I don't know. Usually when I know something's gonna be edgy, I'll run it by him. And if you're comfortable with saying this, say this. If not, then don't. They'll usually laugh and be like, nah, I'm not saying that. And I'll be like, all right, moving on. It's that simple. What are you comfortable with? Like, a lot of people aren't comfortable with certain jokes. And some people are. Have you heard of Corey Holcomb? You know, like, look at his jokes. A lot of other people wouldn't want to tell those same jokes.
When you go on stage, who are some of the people that you think about before you go on stage? And how does that influence sometimes your performance? My nigga.
He said, my nigga. Before I go on stage, honestly, I try not to think of anybody. Like, that's the truth. And Sydney knows this because he's done plenty of shows with me and he sees how I am before shows. I usually have these on and I don't want to talk to no fucking body, okay? I will do laps around the parking lot just in my own world before I get on the stage because I don't want to be niggas will have a whole conversation about a fucking movie they saw or a game that they watched and talk about the stats from 1932 of this player and then walk on stage and do an hour. And it's just like, yeah, switching the gear for them. I'm not there yet, okay? I need to focus. Niggas will roll 8 blunts, be lifted off the ground, and walk right into a stage and be like, all right, so what we gonna talk about, y'all? Yeah, that's some veteran shit. I'm working toward that, trust me. Oh yeah, man, my dog, Sidney Castillo. I gotta say this, like this is not me trying to say this because he's here, but truthfully, this man has helped me hone my voice as a comedian and be honest with the audience. And if it weren't for that, like I wouldn't be seeing the results that I'm seeing now. I'm seeing people respond to me in a way that they never have before. I'm seeing like audiences react to things that I'm saying in a way they haven't before. And I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot of courage to be very vulnerable about your story in front of people. And I sort of dabbled in it before, but not as much as I have now with that encouragement. And then there's all the other people you see on TV, you know what I'm saying? The Patrice O'Neills, the Bill Burr, the Daves, the Chris, the this, the that. And then there's a lot of comedians y'all don't even know about that I'm inspired by, you know what I'm saying? Like Teddy Ray's my dog, you know what I'm saying? Jamar Neighbors is really fucking funny to me. I think there's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that are really great. I'm forgive me for not naming any women off the bat, but like, they're there. They do dope shit too. I just don't want to fuck up no names right now. Because I felt like everything I said before this was pretty cool. Yeah, right, yeah. I'm working on my own projects. While WGA is striking, I'm writing my next film for when we can actually shoot them, you know? And if any investors out there would like to ask what the movie's about and, you know, reach in their wallets and help fund it, I'm here at JSnowPro. And then I'll be doing stand-up all over the world. You're watching Sheen Magazine. Stay tuned.